Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the WaxMode channel. And today I'm out with the highly requested Fusso Coat from SOFT99. They are a company based out of Japan, and Fusso Coat's a fluorine-based paint sealant, so it's got a very cool fluorine-based chemistry to the formula. And I've wanted to try this out for a long time now. They do not have any SOFT99 distributors in the United States, so you cannot get this in the US. So what I ended up doing was buying this through one of the eBay international sellers and having them ship it overseas to me. And this was about $30, and it took about a month for it to arrive. So it's definitely not a bad deal. It's not going to break the bank. You get 200 grams, which is right about 7 ounces. And this specific tin is Fusso Light. They have a light version for lighter colored cars and a dark version for darker cars. And you can see that they advertise a 12-month of durability out of the product. And, you know, I haven't spent a lot of time working with it, so that's something that we're going to have to check down the road. But I went ahead and set up Fusso Coat on the right side hood and fender facing the car here, and on the left side I'm putting it up against the Hi-Temp paste wax from Kare. And the paint was prepped using Meguiar's M205 finishing polish, followed up with an isopropyl alcohol white down. And you can see right away in the water test why so many guys like work with Fusso Coat. This is incredibly hydrophobic, and it's able to do this based on those fluorocarbons that are in the formula. These are fluorine-based polymers. And this sort of polymer is incredibly hydrophobic, so this is creating a very high surface tension on the paint. That's why we're seeing such an aggressive water behavior. And, you know, unlike Sonax Polymer Net Shield and Brilliant Shine Detailer, this is a smooth surface. It's going to be slicker feeling on the paint compared to those two. And the water behavior is definitely approaching that level. I think Polymer Net Shield is pretty much at the highest level for a sealant. And the big question here is going to be, how does Hi-Temp paste wax compare to Fusso Coat? Given that we can't easily bring Fusso Coat over here, you know, is Hi-Temp paste wax a suitable substitute for it? And if you haven't already seen my video review for Hi-Temp paste wax, go ahead and take a look in the description. I have a link set for that video. But I think it's one of the best value sealants that you can get on the market, and it certainly performs at one of the highest levels. You can see the water behavior in the short term is just absolutely insane. So for a sealant that's easy to get here in the online detailing retail sites, Hi-Temp paste wax is a very strong competitor to Fusso Coat. But I'm going to get the Meguiar's Hyper Wash out, give the car a quick wash and rinse, and then show you guys how they hold up. Alright, so both Fusso Coat and Hi-Temp paste wax share some pretty similar properties. The water behavior in the short term is right on par with each other. The smell is a strong chemical scent, and they both have similar dry times as well. So after you apply them to the paint, go ahead and let them sit for about 5 to 15 minutes and then buff it off with a microfiber. But one of the big differences I noticed was Hi-Temp paste wax was definitely easier to spread across the paint when you're applying it. So with Fusso Coat, I noticed that it was a bit more draggy when I was applying it with the applicator pad. And so I felt I had to go back into the tin more to load up the applicator pad when I was doing a larger section. But with Hi-Temp paste wax, you load up the pad once and it really spreads, so a little bit goes a much longer way. And I had no trouble with removal for both products. I think Hi-Temp paste wax is, again, just a little bit easier to remove from the paint. But both of these sealants wiped really clean from the paint, so I wasn't having any problems with any residual oils left behind. But as far as application process, I think Hi-Temp paste wax is the winner in that category. So when we talk about the value for these products, again, it's very hard to beat the value of Hi-Temp paste wax. You get 14.5 ounces for right about $18. And Fusso Coat looks like it's a monster tin until you take the top off. That's where they're hiding their applicator pad in. So for $30 here in the United States, you're getting 7 ounces of Fusso Coat. And both of these sealants have a very similar textured feel to it. It's a nice smooth surface. It's not grainy at all, but it's a harder paste formula. So it's very similar to the Kaolinite 915 and the Kaolinite 476 formulas. And they both, again, have a strong chemical solvent-based scent to it, so they don't smell good at all. But man, the performance is super good in the short term, at least. The water behavior is absolutely right up my alley. Super crazy tight beading. But one of the biggest differences that I noticed in my testing was how these two behave after using Meguiar's Wash Plus soap on it. Okay, so brand new for 2017, Meguiar's came out with their new Wash Plus soap. And so this is their strong washing product. You know, we've seen the Chemical Guys Clean Slate, we've seen the Atom Strip Wash, and a lot of guys are still working with dishwashing soap like Dawn Ultra that I've tested. But Meguiar's Wash Plus is different because it's using micro-polishing agents instead of a stronger chemical to deal with stronger contamination on the paint. And in my case, I'm trying to remove old waxes and sealants from the paint. Meguiar's Wash Plus is using a mechanical action to try and do this rather than trying to do it chemically. But you can see here on the Fusso Coat side, even though we've gone over the paint with Wash Plus, pretty much undiluted into a wash mitt, it is held up incredibly well. And that's going to be the biggest difference between Fusso Coat and Hi-Temp Paste Wax over here. This is much more impacted by Meguiar's Wash Plus. Okay, so this is the third time going over the test sections with Wash Plus. And after the second application, Hi-Temp Paste Wax was really hydrophilic, so it was knocked completely down. But you can see on the Fusso Coat side here, I mean, this is just holding up incredibly well in certain areas of the test section. So compared to other products, the bond that Fusso Coat has to the paint is just at a much higher level. And I've also tested Polymer Net Shield with Wash Plus, and that was knocked completely down after the second pass. So it was going completely hydrophilic. And to clarify my pass, I'm applying the Wash Plus right onto the wash mitt, going over the paint, then rinsing it. That's one pass. Reapplying it to the wash mitt and then going over it again, that's the second pass. And I'm really working it in there as well too. So back and forth motions across the entire section. So here's the Hi-Temp Paste Wax side. Again, it was hydrophilic like this after the second pass. And so this adds another element to the testing. This is going to be interesting to see how specific coatings hold up after using Wash Plus on it. I'm loving using that soap. I mean, I really enjoy using it for the type of testing that I do. But this is just one area that Fusso Coat was really standing out, and it really surprised me. And one of the things I'm forgetting is the trim. Keep both Fusso Coat and Hi-Temp Paste Wax away from the trim. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this test video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video.